Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to a quick little review, just quick, real quick, I just want to give my opinion, just real quick, about a little movie called Dragon Ball Super, Broly the movie. My boy, Broly, that beefy little boy, he back. That's right, he's back for the first time ever, technically, because this is like him being introduced into the canon now, because he wasn't part of the canon, supposedly, before, which I didn't know that. When I watched those movies, I was just like, Broly, yeah! And I guess a lot of people don't like Broly. I guess the idea of Broly is kind of silly, where he's just like this gigantic beast, and he's really evil. At least that's what I remember when I was a kid, when I watched I watched the original Broly movie, and then I watched the, what was it, like Bio Broly? I think that was another one I watched. I think there's 3 other Broly movies besides this. And I don't think I've seen all 3 of them, but I watched those 2 definitely. And I remember him just being evil. Like Bio Broly, he was like some mutated version of Broly, but in the original, he's just evil. That's all I remember though. Like, he's just an asshole and he's evil. Here, they do something a little bit different with him, which I appreciate, and I think it's kind of cool. And I actually like that this movie takes its time at first. I thought it was going to be so quick to get to the Broly fighting Vegeta and Goku, and then them 2 fusing together, of course, to make my boy Vegito. Yeah, I got this little card. And I was actually surprised that they actually focused on more of the backstory, you know, like Bardock, the father of Goku, and King Vegeta, and all that stuff, even Broly's upbringing and why he's so strong. I actually really liked that stuff. It slowed itself down. It was like the first like 25-30 minutes explaining the backstory, last hour of the movie straight up just building up to that climactic fight, which the fight is actually way longer than just a few minutes, which I was surprised. I thought the fight was going to be really like 15 minutes tops. It ended up being a pretty long fight scene. It was like maybe the last 30 minutes of the movie, with occasional breaks here and there just to have more story development and maybe a little bit more character development. But when it comes to the animation, this movie is fantastic. It looks beautiful. Perfect color palette, looks amazing. The animation itself, not just the way everything's drawn, the way everything moves and stuff looks excellent. It's super fast, super kinetic, looks like Dragon Ball, and I appreciated that. And I actually think this movie, when it comes to its action and the tone and the threat itself, feels more like the original Dragon Ball Z, where even I loved Resurrection F. I had a great time with that, and Battle of Gods was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of that personally. I thought it was a little bit too jokey at times, but it was a good return to Dragon Ball. Those 2 still, like, even Frieza, even though he was a threat, he was still a little bit more jokey, especially towards the end of the movie. Here, Broly is a real threat. Like, he's actually kind of scary, and I really appreciate that they kept Broly a mysterious. Like, if you didn't know who Broly was, you'd be like, what the hell is up with this guy? He seems like very gentle, kind of like a gentle giant kind of guy. And then he just like loses his shit and destroys everything. He's actually legit scary. There's actually one part where he beats the shit out of Goku. And Goku has had his ass beaten sometimes. But there's one time where he gets Loki'd hard. Everybody's been talking about how he's been getting Loki'd, where he gets picked up and slammed against the ground just like Loki did in the Avengers, and it is brutal. It is. He's screaming for a good like solid 30 seconds. Sean Schimmel was just screaming in a freaking booth because he's getting his ass beat by Broly, and I like that stuff. All the action is really kinetic. I really like the beginning stuff, the 30 minutes in the beginning where we get a slow beginning. We get to see Bardock. We get to see his wife, which we haven't really seen before, which I thought was cool. Goku's mother. We get to see the reason why he decides to throw him, like he threw him all the way to Earth, but, you know, get rid of him and send him to Earth, which we've already seen. We've already seen the Bardock movie came out. We've seen it countless times before, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm sure they retold the Bardock story a few times. I'm just not remembering. But it's cool to see it again, is what I'm saying. And yeah, the Frieza stuff. Frieza's always fun to watch. And yeah, we had a really fun movie here with a serious threat, which I appreciate. Only problem I have is that there's a problem with Broly that I get, and they're gonna flesh him out most likely in future movies if he does come back. You know, we'll see. This movie has been doing very well. Wednesday it made $7 million alone, which is actually, I think, pretty close to as much as, like, I think the last movie did, like, just all together, not even in just one day. So this movie's cleaning house. It's doing extremely well. But yeah, we're definitely gonna get a sequel, most likely. We'll see Broly again. But I want to flesh him out more because we don't really get too much of Broly. I mean, he's a gentle giant until he's not. And that's really it. I mean, most of the time he's not even talking. Most of the time he's just like looking like, and I get it. That's the character, but I just felt like I don't really. I mean, the movie is called Dragon Ball Super Broly, and when he's not on screen, you're not even thinking about him. At least I'm not. Like, when he shows up and he's fighting people, I'm like, oh, yeah, all right. But when he's not on screen, I'm not, there's no lingering thought in my brain that's just going like, where's Broly? What's he doing? Well, I want to know more about Broly, which I do actually want to know more about Broly, but they don't give you enough to make me really excited to see the potential of Broly as a character. Maybe as a beast that goes around murdering things. Like, I equate him to Doomsday. That's what he feels like. And I'm sure there's a lot of comparisons to him in Doomsday, where he's the guy that shows up, he beats the shit out of the main guy who's the strong one, and he doesn't kill him. At least I don't think he kills him in the original. Does he kill Goku in the original? Like, I could see that happening, and then of course Goku just coming back. There's a lot of similarities between Dragon Ball and the Superman origin story, obviously, with the whole, planet blowing up, the sun going off to Earth, I don't even need to compare. Everybody knows that already. But, so I don't need to compare Superman anymore. But, yeah, it's just, I wanted more from Broly. I really do. As a character. Like, all the other characters are fun. They have a history, so we know them. So we don't really need to see them too much. But even characters we don't see too much or we've never seen before. Like, there's a couple of new Frieza what is the Frieza Force? The Frieza Force. There's two new ones. One old-looking alien dude, and then there's like this. What was she? Blue or green? Like, I forgot what color. My memory is shit. But they have a couple new characters in here that are brand new to the movie, and even them, like, I mean, they're not great, but we get a little bit more of their personality. Broly's just like a, kind of boring when he's not beating the shit out of someone. You know what I mean? And I get that's his character. It's just not interesting to me. Where everybody else is so wacky and fun, Broly's just like, Broly feels like any other character that's kind of boring, like Tien or some shit, boring character, but that's their point. But that's also the thing. I didn't really relate to him. Not that I would ever relate to Broly. He has an interesting backstory, that's for sure. Him himself is not. He's not interesting. He reminds me of like a Tarzan. That's kind of what he reminded me of. Like, just, it's kind of, not dumb, but, like, he's not used to humans, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, besides that, animation-wise, it looks great. The action's fantastic. It's very kinetic, very hyperactive, which is great for this. A lot of screaming, a lot of shirtless anime dudes with spiky hair beating each other up. We get a couple of, I would say, surprises, but they already spoiled a couple of those surprises in the trailer. But I'll just say there's a couple of surprises, even though really there isn't. And great music too, I should say that. I mean, Dragon Ball has always had amazing music, and here there's some great tunes. There you go. Even though I will say that there's a couple here and there that I really liked. I liked all the music, but there was a couple times where the music should have been a little bit louder. It would just, like, it would really improve the action and stuff if the music was just a little bit higher, so it fit more, besides being a little bit quieter. But that could be my theater. So I can't really 100% say it's this movie's fault. It could be my theater, but I also had the same problem with the other Dragon Ball movies and even the My Hero movie that came out a little while ago, where the music was kind of lower. So I have a feeling, and I saw all those in, I think, different theaters, but at least different auditoriums in the same theater. So yeah, that's just a little thing. That might be a theater problem, so who knows. But yeah, I mean, Goku, Vegeta, all your favorites are here. Hell, you even get like a quick little glimpse of Krillin. So there you go. I mean, it's in his best moment, but whatever. But anyway, there you go. That is it. That is Dragon Ball Super Broly. It is a fun film, and it will definitely make you smile at times. It's fun, it's funny at times, has a great cast of characters, some good new ones, some less than stellar new ones. Like, I wasn't really too much of a fan, like I said, of Broly as a character, and also there's a couple other ones that are kind of annoying, but I like seeing a lot of the backstory and the action and stuff, so it was cool. So anyway, there you go. Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie, good stuff. If I had to give it a score from 0 to 40, that's what I score stuff as. Don't ask me why. That's just how I do it. It was a fun time, so I'm going to give it a 32 out of 40. It was really a good time. Only problem was Broly himself. And I know I focused a lot on Broly, but there's not many different ways for me to say it's just a really fun visual treat. Like, it is a visual treat. It sucks that I was so close to the screen, though. I was really close. I was like watching a movie like this. Like, it's just like, it was a nightmare. But besides that, I had a good time. I really did. So anyway, there you go. That is my quick review. I mean, it's 10 minutes long and not very quick, but quick for me, I guess, for Dragon Ball Super Broly. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Until next time. Goodbye.